Hello, and welcome back to another simple meal prepping day. If cooking frequent meals bother you, or you don't have time to cook often, if you wish to have healthy meals on the table, or want to avoid ordering food, then I would say get into the habit of simple meal prepping, because more than half of your cooking issues get resolved with it. And no, nobody is asking you to spend hours in the kitchen meal prepping every week, because I don't follow that method either. But there is one smart habit I definitely follow to make sure I always have ready to cook food available in the fridge. And this small habit is meal prepping my next meal, which I'll be elaborating on later. While yes, some days when I have time, energy, and willingness, I go the extra mile and prep a few additional things. Like today, I decided to meal prep 3 to 4 items that will come in handy for quick cooking, starting with baking my favorite whole wheat banana bread. The kids' schools have started and I need some tiffin snack options. Karthik loves it too as an after lunch treat. If you have overripe bananas that you are about to throw in garbage, then instead of wasting them, make this cake and put them to good use. By the way, the detailed recipe video is mentioned in the description. In my usual recipe, I use 2 bananas, but today I have to finish 3, so I thought of adding them all together. This will only make the cake denser, but if you like soft and crumbly texture, then follow the shared recipe. So I start by mixing all the wet ingredients first. Next, I'll prepare the baking tin and cut the baking paper to fit the cake perfectly. Greasing and dusting works too, but that often leaves a layer of dry flour on the cake. So I find this method much cleaner. Grease the bottom nicely, and once the tin is ready, I'll move on to the dry ingredients, mixing flour, cocoa powder, baking soda and baking powder. As I mentioned, baking becomes much easier when all the ingredients are prepped and laid out. The best part about homemade food is the freedom to customize the taste and ingredients as per your preference. And while some things may look difficult or overwhelming in your head, once you actually start cooking, it's literally a cakewalk, just like this banana cake. Collecting all the ingredients might take around 10 minutes, but whisking everything together is a 5-minute job. And the rest will be taken care by my beloved air fryer oven. Now I'll coat the dry fruits with a little flour so they distribute evenly in the batter. Then I'll add the dry ingredients to the wet mixture in 3 parts to avoid lumps. A lot of you ask me about my air fryer. So it's a multi-purpose all-in-one appliance that I use for toasting, roasting, baking and air frying. It has a 35-liter capacity and is spacious enough to cook multiple items at once. In today's video, I'll also be sharing a no gas recipe which I'll be entirely cooking in this air fryer, so stay tuned till the end. And I have tagged this air fryer and also linked it in the description box for you to check. Add in the dry fruits and seeds of your choice, give it a final mix and pour it into the prepared tin. And that's it. That's all the effort needed in making this wholesome, healthy, whole wheat banana bread. The rest will be handled by the oven. I am making this in a loaf tin, but you can use the same batter to make muffins and prepare a bigger batch. Handmade sweet treats like these never disappoint. Whenever I'm busy and I can't cook from scratch, a slice of this cake or a muffin really helps hold things together until I can get back to cooking. So this one is for all you busy bees out there. This will go into my air fryer oven for 40 minutes at 180 degrees. Now I'll move on to prepping the next item, which is amla tapori. I had pre-boiled some amlas and now I'll chop some larger green chilies as they add great flavor to this instant amla pickle. This low effort side dish is a big support on days when I want to keep cooking minimal. Again, the only real effort is gathering the ingredients because the actual cooking takes just about 5 minutes. First, I'll collect all the whole spices and then the powder ones like turmeric, red chili powder, coriander powder, roasted cumin powder, Kashmiri red chili powder and black salt. This is also one of my favorite way to include at least one amla in my daily diet because the recipe is just too good to skip. Prep is done, so next I'll take 1 teaspoon oil in a kadai. Once the oil heats up, add all the whole spices along with the green chilies. Saute the chilies until they soften and turn slightly tender. Then add the dry spice mix along with some hing and cook the masalas well. After about 10 seconds, add the boiled amla, salt and coat it well with all the spices. That's it. Our healthy side dish that will amp up your everyday meal is ready. Add a bit of kasuri methi and freshly chopped coriander for that extra flavor. This will last in fridge for up to a week. Summers are here and so are curries. While kids crave something cold, what better than making ampanna? I don't give store-bought juices to my kids, so I thought of making an ampanna premix for them. I had made curry longi last week and had saved 1 curry, so I'll chop it and boil it with some table salt and black salt until the pulp softens. The cake is also done and risen well. I love it when things cook almost automatically. An air fryer cum oven is such a helpful tool in the kitchen. It takes off so much of the cooking load. The amla is already looking so tempting and makes the perfect companion for my lazy meals, especially the khichdi days. Next, I'll use the air fryer to roast some nuts since we love snacking on them throughout the week. They also go into the tiffin boxes, chutneys and sweets, so having a stock ready really helps. I roast them at 180 degrees for 5 to 7 minutes. The next meal prep is for the breakfast. I had soaked some moong dal and I'll divide this batch into 2. The first portion will be used to make a batter. I'll add soaked moong dal, ginger, garlic and green chilies and grind it with some water. This batter is such a lifesaver as I use it to make dosas, appe, utpam or chilas. Wait till I show you the high protein filling for this later in the video. I'll be saving the second batch to use in parathas or salads. The mango pulp has softened, so now I'll squeeze out all the pulp and remove the skin. Add this pulp to blender along with roasted cumin powder, black salt, a little red chili powder and jaggery. Adjust the seasonings and sweetness as per your taste. You can even add some mint leaves for a burst of freshness. And our homemade cooling drink is ready. Just add water, some extra jaggery if needed, and lots of ice before serving. Not just kids, even I enjoy it when I'm exhausted from the heat. And of course, now that my drink is ready, I decided to take a short break from the kitchen and answer a few food related questions that I get asked very frequently. So many of you ask about the brands of food I use in my regular cooking. While I do share some of them in between, but I follow a simple approach. Do my own research, read labels, and choose what suits my needs. For example, I use mustard oil for regular cooking, olive oil for continental dishes, and peanut oil for frying. For flour, I get multigrains freshly milled from the local mill, and I do the same for my daily spices. For packaged items like bread or sauces, I always read the labels and make decision accordingly. And whenever I come across something really good, I do share it with you all. I also get many comments about my food portion size. Well, I simply eat what my body needs. Overeating actually leads to gut issues and leave me feeling bloated. As an active, gym going woman, my primary focus is on meeting my protein goals, and the rest naturally supports my energy throughout the day. So, whatever portion I take in my plate, I feel fulfilled and energized throughout the week. Another common question is whether I meal prep every week. The answer is no. I don't do bulk meal prepping, but I do something every day, and this is what I was explaining earlier. As I mentioned, it's these small daily efforts that help me stay consistent in the kitchen. I always try to prep at least one thing for the next meal. It can be as simple as kneading dough in advance or boiling potatoes. This is a micro habit for meal prepping but is very, very lucrative. This way, while you are already in the kitchen cooking your current meal, your next meal is halfway ready, removing any bottlenecks to cook later. Do try this habit if you wish to avoid bulk meal prepping, and let me know if it worked for you or not. The last question is, do I always eat healthy? Of course not. I am a human. I enjoy fast food, fried items, and sweet treats. And come on, who can say no to chaats? But I don't overindulge. Because firstly, once you start working out, your cravings naturally reduce and you begin eating more consciously. And secondly, I know it can backfire both mentally and physically. So I follow an 80-20 balance and enjoy everything but in moderation. I truly enjoy answering your questions, so if you have any more, do drop them in the comments. I'll try to pick more and answer them in my upcoming vlogs. It really helps me feel more connected with you all. The cake has cooled down and now I'll cut it and store it in a box. The house is smelling so good and the bananas that were about to go to waste have been put to great use. Similarly, the nuts have also cooled down, so I'll store them in a container as well. These are some simple meal preps for the side dishes that I'll be using throughout the week. And imagine, so much got done in just 2 hours. If we do a little every day, how convenient the entire cooking process can become. The next meal prep, which is also today's lunch, is making pizza pasta sauce because I'll be making a high protein pizza today. Not just for pizza and pasta, you can also use this sauce as a sandwich spread or even for toasties. It's healthy, homemade, and gets ready really quickly. Just chop and add 1 red bell pepper, 1 large tomato, 1 onion, and 7 to 8 garlic cloves to a baking dish. Add salt and plenty of pizza seasonings and roast everything in the oven at 200 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes until slightly charged. Once cooled, blend it into a smooth puree and your sauce is ready. Store it in the fridge for up to 5 days. The next step is chopping the veggies for the vegetable pizza. I bought this vegetable cutter and dicer about 6 months ago, and after using it for so long, I can say I'm really happy with it. It comes with multiple blade sizes which I don't use regularly, but among these, the two small cutters are my most used. It also has different grating options that you can use as per needed. It's very simple to use, just attach the required blade to the lid and it's ready to use. Since I'm making pizza for kids, I'll chop the vegetables really fine so there is less chance of them picking them out. Just cut the veggies in bigger chunks, place on top and shut the lid close. And then you get these finely chopped and cut vegetables in no time. I use this cutter for chopping vegetables for pulao, salads, sorted veggies, sandwich fillings and so much more. Now to make pizza high in protein, I'll grate a good amount of tofu. Someone messaged me saying that they don't like the taste of tofu, and which is fair. But when you use it in grated form in recipes like this, you hardly notice the difference. So the key is to either crumble or grate the tofu. Now on top of this grated tofu, I'll grate some cheese. When tofu is mixed with cheese, it completely changes the flavor and makes it much more enjoyable. Add some pizza seasonings and salt and your high protein cheese mix is ready. You can store it in the fridge for up to 4 days and use it as a filling with or without veggies. I'll also save some for tomorrow's breakfast as my filling for moong dal chila. Everything is done and now it's time for pizza assembly. I'm using a whole wheat thin crust pizza base and starting by spreading the cheese spread. Next, I'll add a generous layer of the pizza sauce we just made. This sauce is everything, so don't hold back. Then sprinkle some seasonings. Now I'll add a layer of high protein cheese mix. Remember, the more the merrier. This will be followed by the vegetable mix. You can also add diced paneer or tofu into the veggies to make your pizza even higher in protein. Pizza is honestly one of the best ways to hide vegetables in kids' meal. They eat it without any fuss. Next, sprinkle a little salt, pepper and some extra seasonings. And finish it off with another layer of tofu cheese mix on top. And that's the final touch. Now this goes into my air fryer at 200 degrees for about 7 minutes. And if you noticed how conveniently our gas-free meal is ready. The air fryer did everything and you don't have to worry about LPG for this meal. In just 7 to 8 minutes, the thin crust base turns perfectly crispy and a delicious high protein pizza is ready. I hope this video gave you some useful meal prep ideas. If it did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot. Also, drop your questions, suggestions and advice in the comments below and let's discuss them in the next video. Till then, have a great day.